Welcome and let your journey to soul expansion begin. I'm your host, Kristen Kaczynski. This show will take you on a journey of expansion, encouraging you to release the limitations of your mind and lean into the wisdom of your soul. Remembering who you are on a soul level will help you release your conditioning, expectations, limiting beliefs, fears, and worries, and evoke a life expanded by your energetic alignment. Whether you're an entrepreneur who wants to grow your income and impact, or someone who knows in your heart of hearts that you're made for more, this podcast will help you awaken the power that's already inside of you, allowing you to attract an easy flow of money, clients, opportunities, and fulfillment. In each episode, you'll learn something new, expand your consciousness, and you'll walk away with a glimpse of what's truly possible for you. If you're ready to follow your soul's calling and live a more expansive life, you're in the right place. Welcome, and let your journey to soul expansion begin. You were never meant to do this all on your own. And one of the biggest challenges with manifestation is trusting the support that you can't see. And yet, it's one of the most powerful things that you can decide to do. Welcome to the Soul Expansion Podcast. I'm Kristen Kaczynski, and today I'm talking about letting the universe give you the shortcuts. And you might be thinking to yourself, well, of course I'm letting the universe give me the shortcuts. Why wouldn't I want to do that? But it may surprise you to learn that your ego has a really powerful grip on controlling the outcome, on controlling how things manifest, and even on controlling the process of manifestation. Our egos love to get all the credit, right? Like, I definitely have a dimension of myself who she wants to say, ooh, I manifested that. I created that. That was all me. But that's not at all how manifestation works, right? Manifestation by its very nature is a co-creation process. And if you're a non-dual person, like if you believe in the non-dual perspective of spirituality, which is we are all one and there is no separation, right? So the universe and you are one at the same time, and all of the universe and all of us are all the same at the same time, right? Like there's this perspective in spirituality where nothing is separate. We're all one big, vast, interconnected field. And that is the perspective I tend to believe. And there is some element of separation because we have an ego mind, right? So unless you're already an awakened Buddha, right? Like unless you're already completely awakened, there's no more karmic wounds, you've already healed all your childhood parts and patterns, and basically you are Buddha. Unless you're at that level of healing and awakening, then there's still a degree of separation that we have to navigate because you are not fully surrendered into the interconnected field as your truth, as your only truth, right? You still have elements of you that believe you're an individual and believe there is separation. And so we have to be willing to work with that until we become the Buddha or our own version of a Buddha, right? We have to be willing to work with the separation that does exist and to trust that there's two sides to the manifestation story if we're not completely healed, whole, and unconditional love and at one with God, right? So how do we do that? How do we work with this truth that there is some separation, that we are not one with God yet, even though there may be a dimension of us that is one with God? And when I say God, replace it with whatever word you like. Universe, divine intelligence, cosmic forces. It's all good. We're not religious up in here. We're just spiritual. So how do we work with this separation? Well, we have to trust in the co-creative process. We have to trust that there's something bigger than us holding us in our manifestations. We have to trust that there is this divine intervention, this divine element, this divine intelligence that has the ability to guide us, to give us the shortcuts, and to bring us the manifestation. And so we have to overcome this need to control, to figure out, to fix, to analyze, even the act of like trying to manifest. We have to kind of like let go of the trying there. So even though a lot of us would love to let the universe bring us all the money and clients and all the things that's on our heart to ask for, so many of us unconsciously are not willing to lean into that deep surrender. But I want to encourage you today to start exploring this. I want to encourage you today to start to grow your trust with your co-creator. And maybe you see that other side of the coin as a version of you. Maybe it's your higher self, or maybe you see it as the aspect of you that is the universe. That's how I see it, right? And it's kind of like empowering when you think of it that way, because of course I would give myself what I ask for. Do you see what I mean? Like, this works so beautifully with the non-dual perspective in spirituality, because it's like, of course I would give myself what I ask for. Like, I just never would not give myself what I ask for. If I want $1 million, I'm going to give myself $1 million. That's easy. Done. Right? So like, can you implicitly trust the universe that deeply? Obviously there's the separation, but can you identify a bit with the other side of the coin? Can you identify with the divine part and realize that of course you would give yourself what you would ask for? There is no reality in which you wouldn't. Right? So there's that element, like it does increase your certainty and your ability to believe in your manifestation when you look at it from that perspective, or at least it does for me. But the other element is realizing that you're not going to know all the steps or all the shortcuts, and you're also not meant to figure that shit out, right? And I, for a long time in my manifestation journey, I had this ego part that really wanted to figure out what's the block. What should I do next? Where am I, leaning into scarcity? Let me lean back into abundance. Where am I blocking myself? What do I need to fix about my strategy? What do I need to fix about myself, right? There was this like really ego-driven part that wanted to figure it out, problem solve. What's the other like energy of it? It was like she wanted all the credit, right? Like, so she was a doer. That's what she was. She was a doer. She wanted all the credit. She wanted to do all the things to manifest the thing. And she wanted to be able to say, yeah, I did that. I did that. Yeah, the universe might have helped, but I'm the one that did that, right? And so there's this element of being able to let go of that need to, number one, figure out what's wrong, because what if nothing is wrong? Number two, figure out the next step, because actually you can ask for the next step. That is something you can do. To figure out the how, that's not your responsibility. To even to worry about when things look like they're not manifesting, right? This is like a big, powerful shift you can make right now. If you often ask for something and then all your brain can see is signs that it's not working, something I teach my clients to do is, number one, have the belief that you can't fuck it up no matter what. Because a lot of times we think that we're getting in the way of the manifestation, right? So have the belief, just choose right now, I can't fuck it up no matter what. And then number two, any sign that it's not working is actually a sign that it is working. One of my professional goals is to heal my entire generation. And I know that sounds like a big, hairy, audacious goal, but it's true. It's something that I think is my soul's calling. It's why I'm here. It's why I have my business. It's why I do the work that I do. And my first phase of starting to bring this healing to a bigger audience has been with the creation of the Soul Expansion membership. And you guys have heard me talk about it on the podcast. It's been, mentioned since the very beginning of this show. And I am just overwhelmed with joy and excitement as I look at the community and the membership that we've created. We have a private Slack community where our members are super active. They're supporting each other. They're helping each other through mindset blocks and energy blocks. And I pop in there once or twice a week to offer additional support to our members. And we have monthly live healings where everyone gets on the call, and the energy on these calls is just, it's magic. I mean, having this community live on a call every single month is something that lights my soul on fire. I mean, it gives me that taste of what it's going to be like as my company grows and as we expand to help people even beyond business owners, because the Soul Expansion membership is intended for entrepreneurs. So if you don't know what the Soul Expansion membership is, this is a vibrant community where we have a private Slack channel. There's 4 monthly healings, 3 are pre-recorded, 1 is live, and it's always on a business, mindset, or energetic theme. So we've covered topics like receiving, divine feminine energy, launching challenges. Future months, we're going to be covering things like releasing imposter syndrome, releasing comparison, millionaire mindset and energy, feeling deep embodied worthiness, embodying overflow. All of these things that we want to be able to step into, expand into, grow into, so that we can grow our income and impact without having to hustle or burn ourselves out or get into this trap of the wounded masculine. And this program's $111 per month. We kept it as affordable as we possibly could so that we could serve more people with this beautiful mission. And if you'd like to be a part of it, you can get started now at mysoulexpansion.com. Again, it's mysoulexpansion.com. And even though it is so affordable, it is still incredibly high impact. I mean, I've had more than one member tell me that after doing even just one healing in the Soul Expansion membership, they've been able to sign a client. Whereas before they joined, maybe they were getting stuck in traps of scarcity, or they weren't able to receive, or whatever it was. So this is not low quality healing. This is high quality stuff. We just are able to offer it for an affordable price because it is more self-paced and more community driven versus, private coaching. So we hope you'll join us, mysoulexpansion.com, and let's get back to the show. And your ego mind might be like, what the fuck? No, I don't believe that for a second. But it's true. And this is something that I really deeply learned and embodied with my dog, Kingsley, my new puppy. And I'll tell this story eventually. I don't know why I haven't told it yet. Maybe I'm not ready to tell it yet. But my dog Kingsley was in the ICU just 2 days after we adopted him, when he was, 8 weeks old, with parvovirus and giardia. So 2 really serious, severe illnesses that a new puppy can have that very much could result in death, right? Like, it was pretty serious. Obviously, he's had a full recovery. He's doing wonderful. He's growing up, and we are so incredibly grateful for his recovery. And yes, we manifested that, right? Like, yes, we leaned into the power of the spiritual realm. Yes, we leaned into the power of manifestation to support his recovery. And yes, of course, we also took him to the best vet in the area. We also, made sure he was in the ICU instead of doing home care. We did all the things on the physical realm, and we did all the things on the spiritual realm. But one of the big lessons that I embodied from that situation was, even if there was, quote unquote, like bad news, or like news of a decline, or news that something was not working for him in his recovery, I found a way to get my energy behind it as if it was good news. So if they said, he had a little relapse today, one of the things I did, that Ralph and I did, was we said, you know what? That's actually expected with this illness. So, when we saw him earlier today, he had even more energy than we did the previous day. So this is just that last little blip he has to get through, and then he's going to be fully recovered. And, I'm not discouraged by this news at all. Like there's no need to worry about this. This was to be expected with parvovirus. And we just get to get excited about him coming home happy and healthy tomorrow, right? So in that situation, the ego, like our ego minds, wanted to look at that news of like, oh, he had a little relapse tonight, and say to ourselves, oh my God, there's so much to worry about. What if he doesn't make it, right? Like that's where our ego mind wanted to go. But instead we looked at that as like, well, actually this is to be expected with this type of illness. And so we're going to get our energy behind the truth that this is just a little blip. And it's actually still working. He's actually still going to come home happy and healthy tomorrow. And we get to get excited for him to come home and for him to grow up, right? So it's taking any evidence that may seem to the ego mind like, a failing in the manifestation, or like things are not working, and finding a way to get your energy behind it as if the only truth that could possibly exist is that it is working. And this is, something I teach in my new program, Vixen. And then, of course, in Expansion Mastermind, we talk about this a lot too. But I call this embodied certainty, right? So when you're shown evidence that things are not working, if you have embodied certainty, it doesn't like phase you, right? You look at that and you're like, well, no, it's still working. Of course it's still working. I know it's still working because I'm an infinite being, right? Like I know it's still working because on some level, I am one with the universe and I would always give myself what I ask for, right? But embodied certainty is so powerful for manifestation. And it's a challenge, right? Like it's a mind fuck, and there's parts of us that really have a hard time buying into embodied certainty, especially if we've had a lot of trauma. This is why healing is so important for manifestation and for business. But it's so powerful, and it's something you can decide to just shift into, right? Like I do this all the time with money. I'm like, you know what? There's no other reality other than I'm going to receive this amount by this date. There's no other reality. There's no other reality. This is the only reality I know. This is the only reality that exists. I actually like mentally, energetically, spiritually, I like eliminate all other realities other than the reality I want. I get that clear and that certain and that unwavering in what I'm asking for. And then every single time it manifests. Yeah. But you have to be willing to lean into the unknown support of the divine, of the universe, of God. You have to be willing to sometimes ask for guidance, right? Like I ask for guidance a lot. If I'm feeling stuck, or if I'm feeling scarce, or if I'm feeling fearful, I'll ask for guidance. I'll pray, right? I'll say, I'm willing to see things differently. Help guide me through this. Or I surrender the need to figure it out myself. Can you show me the way? And I don't just say that, but I feel it, right? So I let go of like the little ego parts of me that want to grip onto claiming the credit, or want to grip onto being the one that figures it out, right? So I have to like let those parts surrender and let those parts relax. And I have to actually feel that on a somatic level. And then whoosh, the guidance comes in. The shortcuts are revealed to me. The next step becomes clear. So there's an element of faith, there's an element of deciding, and there's an element of surrender. And this is one of the fastest ways to create abundance in your life. You were never meant to create it all on your own. There's this whole force of nature at play that wants to help you, that truly desires to help you live in your highest expression of abundance. Because when you are abundant, you create more abundance for more people. You uplift the vibration of the entire planet when you're in your highest expression of abundance. So, of course, God, source, universe, divine wants to help you in reaching your highest expression of abundance. But you have to be willing to ask for that help. You have to be willing to surrender the need for the ego to want to figure out how to get it done without that help so it can claim the credit. And you have to have that faith that that help exists and is there for you and is guiding you. Because if you don't believe in it, then it's not going to come through for you. You're going to question it, you're going to doubt it, or maybe you won't even receive anything. So that is what I have for you today. I hope this was supportive for you in terms of your manifestations. Let me know on Instagram if you listen to this episode. Do a little screenshot, tag me at Kristen Kaczynski. And if you're wanting to go deeper on being able to manifest more money in your business, being able to call in more abundance for yourself, my paid programs are always available. They are evergreen programs, meaning if you're listening to this today when it's first released, or if you're listening to this 6 months from now, no matter when you're listening to this, you can always reach out to me on Instagram or go to my website, KristenKaczynski.com, and see what I have available to offer. There's always something there for you. There is always deeper support available to you. Because a lot of the things I talk about on this podcast have come through from layers and layers and layers of healing and embodiment and awakening. And so if some of it is landing, but you feel like it's not really sinking in, getting some additional support in one of my paid programs is a beautiful way to help you integrate and fully embody these truths. So if you are looking for more support, please reach out to me. I'm at Kristen Kaczynski on Instagram, or go to KristenKaczynski.com, and there's a page that lists out all of my current offers. And until next week, I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Please let me know if you listen to this episode, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.
Thank you for honoring your soul's calling today and taking the time to listen to this episode of the Soul Expansion Podcast. If you have a question you'd like featured or have a topic idea, I would love to hear from you. Find me on Instagram at Kristen Kaczynski and send me a DM with your request. Remember, you are a truly limitless being. The limits you see now are only an illusion. Whatever it is that you desire, that's already yours. It already exists in the universe here and now. You simply have to awaken to what you already have. And I hope this episode brought you a little closer to that truth. If you love this episode and would like to give from your heart and appreciation, please take a few moments to screenshot it and tag me in your stories on Instagram, or write a brief review on your favorite podcast platform. Your voice truly matters, and your feedback helps to spread abundant expansion to a broader audience. And what a gift that is, right? Just think about how much abundance will come back to you if you help a friend experience their own soul expansion. And with that, I just want to say thank you for being you. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much for listening. And until next time, I'm Kristen Kaczynski, and I love you.